Good morning, evening, afternoon, everyone. It's the one and only Notorious Glorious V, the Gorilla Condoms, coming to you live on another edition of Rogue News in the Morning, where we bring you the news, the views, and all the information important to you. Check us out, RogueNews.com. Follow us on Twitter at Real Rogue News. Rogue News on every single podcasting app known to humanity, and Rogue News on iTunes. We're everywhere you want us to be, plus a bag of chips. So come check it out. And also, guys, with that being said, check out our sponsors. Most importantly, check out WatchUsTrade.io. WatchUsTrade.io. I think going forward, we're going to be linking a lot of the markets, a lot of the trades, a lot of the trading room with WatchUsTrade. It's going to be linked integrally into Rogue News, kind of bring it back to the Rogue Money days. And so check it out. Folks, we have a special running on the WatchUsTrade. The WatchUsTrade program. What we have is a special. Okay, we have a special thing. The link is in the description box. If you go to the description box right there, all right, we had a special announcement. That special announcement, folks, is that we are doing a special live seminar. It's a special live seminar, and the beautiful thing about the seminar, folks, this is an opportunity for people to really make an impact on their bottom line. One of the things I love to do is give people the tools. I don't have lotions. I don't have potions. I don't have powders. I don't have drink mixes. I don't have T-shirts. I don't have hats. I don't have toothbrushes or coffee mugs. And I don't have thong underwear to sell you either. Rogue News thong underwear, don't have it. What I do have is services that can radically change your life, services that can make an impact on your bottom line. Okay. And one of those services, folks, is that this Friday, tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the link is in the description box, you can register for a meeting, and the seats are limited. We have very, very few spaces left. It could already be sold out, but you need to go there. We'll have room for 100. And what you need to do is get over there, register. You're going to see a live trading show where the trades are happening live. Number one. Number two, you're going to have all your fears taken away. Every single one of those doubts that you had about yourself and your proficiency, whether you have the acumen to trade properly, all of that fear, all that doubt is going to be completely wiped away. The third thing that's going to happen is you're going to realize, hey, you can trade and have a life. The fourth thing you're going to realize, folks, is that trading is a powerful and effective way in developing a secondary income that has the potential to replace your yearly income, folks. There are people that are doing this. There are people that are experiencing this. So this Friday, this is a special event. I urge you to go to the link that is in the description box, register in advance for the meeting, sit through the seminar, learn and be amazed at what you see, and then join us. And you will see that you don't have to be glued to your computer. You don't have to be glued to your smartphone. You don't have to be at work stressing if you have gotten in and or missed a trade. You will see how the pulse wave system is able to set your entry points and allow the market to come to you. Make breakfast for your kids and allow the market to come to you. Go to work during the day, the hustle and the bustle, whether you're a doctor, a nurse, a warehouse worker, maybe you're driving a truck, maybe you're a mechanic at a dealership or a repair shop. Maybe you're a contractor at a construction site. Maybe you're somebody who works at a deli. Maybe you work at a retail shop. Maybe you work for a landscaper. If you're out there, I'm talking to you. And the beautiful thing about this program is you go to work, you do your day-to-day. You set your entry and exit points as the pulse wave system indicates, Go about your daily business, go about your life, and let the markets come to you. This is the most remarkable system I've ever seen. It is more advanced than even Trading Bull. It is more advanced than any one of these newfangled things. And I'm telling you right now, in 1 to 2 years' time, we will be the biggest trading platform, the biggest trading room in the entire world. I have no doubt about it. I have no doubts about it. This is why it's very important for you folks not to be victimized by what's going on with the news and information, be stressed out, but to take this opportunity to be absolutely pragmatic, absolutely bold, and absolutely fearless. And join us. Make it happen for yourself and your family. Friday, March 1st, 2019 at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, U.S. and Canada, Eastern Standard Time. Join us. And it don't matter if anywhere around the world. Join us. 1 p.m. Eastern. And let's make it happen for yourself. Change your life forever. Now, with that out of the way, we're going to quickly run through the news. And we're going to get into it. Okay. First things, folks. I know yesterday was absolutely comical for me, and I know that some of you were taking a look at this and you're laughing your heads off, so to speak. I was astounded by how much of an idiot Michael Cohen is. On top of the fact that he is a blithering moron. That this guy who's been caught lying countless of times, in fact, he's going to jail because he's a liar. A convicted liar. A guy who lies under oath. A guy who has perjured himself multiple times. Yesterday was in congressional testimony where, again, he was caught of a crime, and that is the foreign contract crime, which he denounced multiple times, and there under oath in Congress, he again admitted to the congressman who was drilling him that yes, he was involved with foreign contracts, which is against the law during an election cycle. This guy's in a whole heap of trouble, and this is who the Democrats pull out as their star witness. I mean, this is pathetic, absolutely pathetic. All the while, there's a North Korean seminar going on and a meeting going on at the Korean to denuclearize the Korean Peninsula and end the Korean War. The Democrats roll out Michael Cohen. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I enjoyed it. It was very comical, to say the least. Oh my God, unreal. Anyway, guys, apart from the idiot Michael Cohen, who was a convicted liar and a convicted fraudster, we have some other interesting and developing news. We all know about the oil prices is a huge deal, and I think it was we all know there's a significant danger in the U.S. oil shale price. BP, British Petroleum CEO Dudley, U.S. shale is a market without a brain. I agree with him. In fact, I wrote an article years ago showing you how financialized the petroleum industry is. And the petroleum industry, folks, is incredibly financialized. There are state and local governments that are all intertwined on these shale oil projects. It is literally a straight up trouble. It's a danger waiting to happen. The U.S. shale industry responds only to oil price signals and is like a market without a brain, BP's chief executive Bob Dudley said on Tuesday. The U.S. is the only country that completely responds to market signals like a market without a brain. It just responds to price signals. Unlike Saudi Arabia and Russia, which adjust their output in response to gluts or shortages in oil supplies, which is how it should be, the U.S. shale market responds purely to oil price, said CEO of the UK oil supermajor, which completed last year which completed a U.S. A $10.5 billion deal to buy U.S. shale assets from BHP in what was BP's biggest acquisition this century, and one that BP will rely on for boosting production and margins. The acquisition adds oil and gas production of 190,000 barrels of oil equivalent per day and 4.6 billion oil equivalent barrels of discovered resources in liquids-rich region of the Permian and Eagle Ford basins in Texas. The U.S. shale sector is sensitive to oil prices, and drillers respond to them by adding or reducing working rigs but also because shale production is shorter cycle and easier to switch on and off than the complex conventional oil projects. While OPEC and its Russian-led allies have been looking for 2 years now at supply and demand and adjusting production to avoid another oil glut similar to the one that crashed the oil prices back in 2014, U.S. shale has been benefiting from the OPEC, non-OPEC coordinated market action and the increase in oil prices over the last 2 years. Producers have been pumping record amounts of crude oil in the United States. Okay, let me just break this whole thing down for you. What is it? What the hell does it mean? What's he talking about? Folks, we are the most unique country in the world, apart from the fact that we are exceptional, Stan. Apart from the fact the other day I was explaining to you how the airlifts of weapons and aid to fractional regions, fractional fifth columns that are in Venezuela is still continuing unabated via the deep state apparatchiks. I'll also tell you that we are also exceptional in the one regard in regards to the rest of the world when it comes to energy. The rest of the energy producing world adjusts their output according to supply and demand, which is very telling. If you are a commodity backed country, if you're a country rich in commodities, if you truly have what you say you have, you will adjust the price of your wares based upon supply and demand. If you truly have what you have, you will adjust your wares, your products, your supply in accordance to what the market is dictating in regards to supply and demand. It's just that simple. If I am in the oil business, if I'm in the soybean business, if I am in the rice business, if I'm into tea leaves, if I'm into selling mulch, based on the swings of the market, the dictates of the market, I will accordingly raise and increase and or reduce my production. It's common sense. Why doesn't the U.S. do that? We're the biggest energy producer in the world. We're supposedly a major energy producer. And we've gotten that title not because we're sitting on sweet crude. We've gotten that title because of shale oil and natural gas. Shale oil, which is harder to extract. Shale oil, which in BTUs, British thermal units, the measure of energy. Shale oil per ounce is less energy dense than the oils that have been extracted. The crude oil, the sweet crude, the ones that require less refining, like what you dig out of the ground in Saudi Arabia, what you get out of the ground in Russia, and all across the Middle East, and even Venezuela, those are energy-dense carbon deposits. Energy-dense petroleum. So, every other country in the world that's in the oil game is pricing and adjusting their production based upon supply and demand. We adjust our production based upon price. How insane is this? Irrespective of what supply and demand is, why are we basing it on price? Let's think about this for a second. The only reason why you would adjust it for price, folks, the only reason why you would do that is because just like every other thing that is in this country, oil and its products are all financialized. It's not dictated by supply and demand. It is dictated by Wall Street. It is dictated by speculators. So in other words, it is a financialized instrument. How crazy is this? Now, why do you think Why do you think nations around the world are working diligently and they're working very hard to de-dollarize? Why do you think many nations of the world are being diligent in order to dump the petrodollar? Because they no longer want to be held victims to speculation. They no longer want to see a boom like we've seen in 2006. And they don't want to see a bust like we've seen in 2014. They want to avoid that. And that, as so long as petroleum, a strategically vital commodity, is linked with the dollar, and you have the petrodollar, so long that link is between petro and dollar exists, you have a commodity that could be hyper manipulated. And folks, let me tell you this. Oil is financialized more than mortgages. Oil is financialized more than mortgages. It is a very, very integral part of the Ponzi paper scheme run by Wall Street. Very integral. It's very vital for the make-believe phantom economy. It is very vital to the algorithmic economy in which we all partake in. Because when you have an algorithmic economy, when you have an economy based and that is held together by electronic duct tape and not reality, just like everything else, folks, nothing we have, and this should terrify you. I'm not telling you to be scared, but it should really concern you that literally nothing we have now, we are in the upside down world. I've said this before. We are in the upside down world. Nothing makes sense. Nothing. Nothing makes sense anymore. Think about this. Nothing makes sense anymore. Nothing makes sense anymore. There's no longer any mark to market. Underlying assets are so removed from the financialized instrument that's supposed to be based upon this underlying asset, but the value of the instrument is completely, and the trade of this instrument is completely removed from the underlying asset. There's no more mark to market. Everything is a derivative. Everything is financialized. So why is oil? Why is the supply and demand predicated upon the price of the product rather than supply and demand of the product? I tell you why. Because it is integral to the financial fraud that is running from not only the national, but the state and local governments and the municipalities, all of whom have taken on massive debt, all of whom have floated bonds that cannot be repaid, all of whom have done massive financialization, built whole towns around this myth of shale oil. Unless there's a change in this, folks, this doesn't end well. It doesn't end well. So we're seeing the prices once again coming back down in the oil markets. Secondly, we just got news as well that the buyers, owners of a company that bought aborted baby parts from Planned Parenthood were arrested, thank God. Two wealthy Ecuadorian brothers who were principals in the Da Vinci Biosciences and DV Biologics, the California company, fined in order to shut down for illegally trafficking. Illegally trafficking worldwide in aborted baby parts it obtained from Planned Parenthood were arrested by ICE. On February 13, 2019, U.S. and Immigration Customs Enforcement arrested Roberto and William Acias on February 13th. ICE representatives Nestor Iglesias said brothers were unlawfully present in the U.S. and have been transferred to the ICE's enforcement and removal operation for deportation proceedings following their arrest. The arrest of Roberto and William was gratifying to the Operation Rescue, which was published in an investigative research report on October 27, 2016, just days before the presidential election that put Donald J. Trump in office. That detailed their crimes in Ecuador, dubious dealings with the Obama administration, their business with the Planned Parenthood, and the aborted baby parts trade. We understood. And folks, this is what it is. If you guys got a chance to go see that Alex Jones and Joe Rogan interview, it was, dude, bloody epic. That was one of the best interviews I've ever seen in my life. It was awesome. It was very, very intellectually stimulating. And one of the things that Alex highlighted upon, which I agree with him wholeheartedly, it's not just the sale of baby parts that they want to do. They want the wholesale sale of the babies, which they're already doing, but they want to do it in a legal sense. That's why this whole, Virginia governor saying, "Oh, we're going to keep the babies alive after 2 weeks after they're born, and then decide if we want to kill them or not." That whole thing is integral to the organ trade. It's a massive, massive trade, folks. So two brothers that are linked to that trade have been taken down. Good riddance, you sons of bitches. May you burn in hell. Do you think, folks, for 1 second, that this would have happened if we were under, let's just say, the Hillary Clinton administration? Do you think those two brothers would have been arrested even under the Obama administration, considering they were in dubious dealings with the Obama administration? One could only speculate. One could only speculate what that actually means. Okay, one could only speculate what that actually means. And on the larger scale, we have the U.S. being contained again. You losing big in the European theater as well as the Asian and the Middle Eastern theater. The U.S. is becoming less and less of a major player. They're not flexing their muscles as they used to be, and so that is a very, 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 very good thing. We have the multipolar world that is emerging. And this is just out from Strategic Culture that says the United States has in the last 3 decades brought chaos and destruction in large parts of Europe. Yes, it has. In spite of the common myth that the old continent was vast in the post-World War II peace of the American-led order, the falsehood is fueled by European politicians devoted to European Union and eager to justify and praise the European project. But history shows that the United States fueled or directed devastating wars in the European continent, in Yugoslavia in the 90s, the conflict in Georgia and Ossetia beginning in the 1990s, and the war in Georgia in 2008, and the coup in Ukraine in 2014. All the ensuing color revolutions, folks, from Latvia, Bulgaria, Lithuania, Romania, all the wonderful color revolutions, all of them, in Georgia, with the Tayyip or Saakashvili, all these things have happened. The major problem for Washington's European allies has always been summoning the will to contain the U.S. imperialism. And for many years, especially since the end of the Cold War, European countries have preferred to defer to Washington's positions, confirming their status as colonies rather than allies. And it's a fundamental recognize that European politicians have always been at the service of Washington, eager to prostrate themselves to the American exceptionalism, favoring U.S. interests over European ones. That's all how it was. But now we see what has changed. Their breakaway from the JCPOA, the desire of Germany to continue to work with Russia on energy and trade, the desire of China to work with France. All these things is a different ballgame. It's a multipolar world. And we soon better find our place in it. Folks, we're in a transitionary period in this world, especially in this country. I don't know how this is going to end up. But I do know it's not going to be some sort of Mad Max end of the world apocalyptic thing that people are talking about. It's not going to wind up there, but there's going to be some painful transitions ahead. And the only thing that I know to inoculate yourself from such painful transitions is to make a crap load of money. And I urge you, okay, if you want to make a crap load of money, okay, go to the link below. Then check out WatchUsTrade.io. Register for the conference. Okay, register for the conference and make it happen for yourself. It's just that simple. You click the link on the bottom, and it will lead you there. Let me just show you what it looks like. Boom. Just go there, register, pop in your name, your email address. Join us March 1st, tomorrow, at 1 p.m. Eastern, and make a difference in your life. This is it. You want freedom? This is probably the greatest service that I've ever created, that I've ever stamped my name behind. Is this. This is the greatest product that I am able to put forth in front of you that will change the very it will affect the very quality of life for you. Now you'll say, well, V, why don't I invest in the stock market? It's free money. It's going to ride up higher. Dow 29,000. Here we come. I'm been spot on with where the Dow's been going. Free money. The Wall Street money machine is in full tilt. Do you want to get paid? Now, once you do get paid, what do you do with that, with the profits? You take it, you buy hard assets, you save, you stash away your savings, you get some hard assets, you get some crypto, you get some gold, you get some silver, and you have some cash ready. So when the transitions happen, you can go ahead and do what? You can be like the wealthy. You can go ahead and start accumulating assets. Start buying assets and not liabilities. This is the one of the few. If you're not going to start your own business and take the risk of starting your own business, well, you could spend the $300, get in the WatchUsTrade room. Within a matter of days, you could pretty much pay for your entire year's worth of membership and accumulate a fortune and accumulate a sizable income while you're there as well. I kid you not. I kid you not. My grandmother could do this. My grandmother can do this, folks. WatchUsTrade. Check it out. Join us tomorrow. I'll be on there. Frank will be on there. Dex will be on there, and a whole lot of people there. We have limited seats. There's only a few seats left. Join us over there, because why? This is one of the only exploits you have. It's one of the only exploits you have to make it happen. With that being said, I'm over and out. Take care, folks.